Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. And on today's filing, we've got Microchip Technology, and let's just say their annual meeting had some interesting results, almost too interesting to ignore. So get this, back on August 19th of 2025, Microchip Technology held its annual stockholder meeting, and we're diving into what went down. This event is basically where the company's owners, the shareholders, get to vote on important stuff, like who's running the show and whether the company's accounting partners are doing a good job. The main point of this report is to tell us exactly what happened with those votes. Think of it like the official results from the company's big yearly election. First up, the election for the board of directors. These are the folks responsible for guiding the company's big picture strategy. It looks like all the nominees put forward were elected to serve until the next annual meeting, which is pretty standard. People like Ellen L. Barker, Rick Cassidy, Matthew W. Chapman, Victor Peng, Karen M. Rapp, and Steve Sankey all got the green light from the shareholders. For example, Ellen L. Barker received a hefty 475 votes in favor, 5 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 votes in favor, 5. Now, even though most directors were overwhelmingly approved, it's interesting to see the counts. For instance, there were 32,580,778 broker non-votes. Broker non-votes happen when a brokerage firm holds shares on behalf of its clients, but doesn't receive instructions from the client on how to vote their shares. So these shares weren't technically voted either for or against, but they do represent stock owned by shareholders. Moving on from the directors, the next big item was ratifying the appointment of Ernst & Young LLP as their independent auditors for the upcoming fiscal year. This is super important because auditors are like the referees of financial reporting. They check to make sure the company's financial statements are accurate and follow all the rules. And guess what? Shareholders overwhelmingly approved keeping Ernst & Young on board. They got a massive 452,272,279 votes in favor. This signals strong confidence in the accounting firm's work. But here's where things get a bit spicy. Shareholders voted on the company's executive compensation, and this is usually a pretty closely watched vote. It's advisory, meaning the company doesn't have to follow it, but heavy opposition is definitely a message sent loud and clear by the owners. In this case, the proposal to approve the pay packages for Microchip's top executives actually did not get approved. They received 205,845,000, 74,245,000, 74,223 votes were cast against it. That's a pretty significant rejection. To put that in perspective, over 245 million votes went against approving the executive compensation. This means a significant portion of shareholders felt that the pay wasn't aligned with the company's performance or wasn't structured fairly. It's a clear signal to the board and management that they need to reevaluate how they are compensating their top brass. Sometimes this can lead to changes in compensation structures or even leadership if the message is consistently ignored. And that brings us to the end of the official filing. This report was signed off by J. Eric Bjornholt, who holds the title of Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This is common practice for these types of filings, indicating the financial leadership of the company is certifying the information presented. So what's the big picture here for Microchip Technology? On one hand, the re-election of all directors and the approval of their auditor shows a stable foundation and shareholder trust in the company's governance and financial oversight. They're operating smoothly in terms of board structure and accounting. However, the resounding no vote on executive compensation is a serious red flag. It suggests a disconnect between what shareholders believe is fair pay and what the company is actually dishing out. This could indicate that while the operational side is stable, investor sentiment regarding how the company rewards its leadership might need some serious attention. Microchip is a big player in the semiconductor industry, a sector that's vital but also highly competitive and cyclical. Investors are looking closely at how efficiently management is steering the ship, especially when it comes to large payouts to executives. A lack of approval here might make it harder for leadership to get shareholder buy-in on future compensation plans, and could even signal underlying concerns about performance metrics or bonus structures not delivering for investors. It's definitely a situation to watch to see how the board responds to that. Alright, that's our breakdown of Microchip Technology's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance. Don't forget to check out our Discord community linked in the description below for more discussions and early access to content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.